Some congressmen are born incoherent, some achieve incoherence, and some have incoherence thrust upon them. Our number one story, as promised, our WTF moment. If, on the subject of your opposition to same-sex marriage, you come across as less generous than David Brooks, less nuanced than Pat Buchanan, and less informed than Carrie Prejean, you may still get yourself elected to Congress and re-elected and re-elected 5 times, in fact. But when you were asked about this opposition to same-sex marriage, if your answer makes David Brooks and Pat Buchanan and Carrie Prejean all say, WTF, you, sir, have transcended the born, achieved, thrust upon them equation and moved directly to all of the above. Meet Congressman John Culberson of the 7th District of Texas. We have heard him before say goofy stuff, but nothing that would make him a first-teamer. He is the guy who announced that the stimulus package was, quote, a Trojan horse that liberals are using to ultimately turn America into France. But that's nothing like the work of the true all-stars, Steve King of Iowa, or Mr. Shimkus of Illinois, the one who occasionally has ecstatic religious visions in the middle of his hearings, or, of course, legendary team captain Michelle Bachmann. But now, Mr. Culberson has elevated his game. He went on C-SPAN, which always seems like a good idea until you find yourself in the terminal stages of an answer so labyrinthine, so filled with double entendres that you cannot remember a time when you were not on C-SPAN, lost in your own sentences. Mr. Culberson was asked a pretty straightforward question. One assumes he thought he was giving a pretty straightforward answer.
You said a lot about how the federal government shouldn't be in our house. My question is about gay marriage. So do you really think the federal government should be in our house or the government shouldn't? Because as I know, gay marriage is the state government that controls that. So what do you think on that?
Well, under the 10th Amendment, the states have a first responsibility for providing for public safety, public health, public morality, all issues that just affect the people within that state. It's up to the states. And you either follow the Constitution or you don't.
Okay, we haven't gotten to the crazy yet. I just wanted to interject that the 10th Amendment reads as follows. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That's it. That's the whole can of cheese whiz. Doesn't say a damn thing in there, Mr. Culberson, that the states have a first responsibility for morality and public. Maybe he was thinking of that when he went off like this.
Now, personally, I think that, and it's just, I think, also self-evident that you've got to have a marriage between a man and a woman, or society's not going to make it. I mean, you're not going to have a fruitful, productive, growing civilization unless marriage is between a man and a woman. I mean, that's just history. History will show you that. But it is a person's private business. Their private life is their private business. I'm fundamentally a libertarian at heart, and I do believe in the 10th Amendment. I don't want to hear about somebody's private behavior.
And I don't want to hear you keep referencing parts of the 10th Amendment that you and only you can see.
Now think about this. You cannot, if we provide civil rights protection to somebody based on private sexual behavior, well, the Constitution, the 14th Amendment says we have to provide equal protection.
Congressman, hello. You're talking about private sexual behavior and providing protection. Hello.
Federal law cannot permit. If one state, Vermont, wants to do that, you can't let that cross state lines. You've got to let, frankly, a lot of these issues have to be up to the states, but the federal government cannot permit, for example, the federal government has a legitimate role in interstate commerce.
Interstate commerce? Where the hell did interstate commerce come from, Congressman? Oh, yeah, we have to ship all that protection for the private sexual behavior.
And that's where the federal government's role comes in. And I think the federal government shouldn't recognize it. It's just a bad idea. And but fundamentally, the right of privacy is fundamental.
Well, there you have it. Fundamentally, the right of privacy is fundamental. Congressman Culberson sounds at all familiar to you. I suspect this is why.
Hell, I was born here, and I was raised here, and dadgummit, I'm going to die here. And no side-winding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, crocker is going to roll my biscuit cutter.
Now, who can argue with that?
Rub
Congressman John Culberson, 7th District of Texas, where the answer to every question is either the 10th Amendment, or fundamentally the right of privacy is fundamental, or the government has to provide protection for private sexual behavior. Possibly to harken back to the Congressman's remark about the stimulus plan, possibly protection involving the Trojan horse. WTF.